seat that works for you and land. Thanks for showing up. Namaste. Nice to see you. One sort of thing to think about, or one sort of announcement, is that the cafe here in the Fitchburg location, Surya, is going to have its official reopening tomorrow. So that's coming back online. And at some point in the future, over the summer, the Madison location will also open back up, so stay tuned for that. We did add a few classes to the schedule in this past week, so there are more offerings at both locations throughout the week, so check into those. And those are the only things I need to let you know about. I had this experience where someone said recently, like this morning, oh, it must be so nice to be in America. It must be so nice to be in the States where things are returning to normal. It just must be so nice. And here in Europe, it's still so strange. And I thought, like, well, what news program are you watching? and what America are you talking about? Because as far as I can tell, things are still pretty strange and pretty abnormal. And I expect them to be that way for a while. And there's something to be learned in this experience, right? Of experiencing what we've had to endure for the last year and a half, what we've learned from that experience, what this tension that's been applied to us has given us. We know what it's taken away, but also to see what it's given us. And to think about this idea of going back to normal and really knowing that that's not possible, right? That we can't just erase everything that's been experienced. We can't just flip a switch and turn the lights back on and find everything right where we left it, because that's not the experience. And at the same time, to want that is also not that helpful, right? We grow and we change when we apply tension and stress in a healthy way. And hopefully, when tension and stress get applied to us unexpectedly in a healthy or not always healthy way, we can also use that as an opportunity to grow and change and expand, right? So, through this application of tension that we've been living under, things have changed. Some things will never go back to the way that they were. Some things will go back to versions of themselves. We will go back to versions of ourselves, but we also will go into a whole new version of ourselves. And to expect it to be otherwise is to set ourselves up for disappointment or something worse, right? So to think about how we can benefit from tension, how we can benefit from healthy stress is important, because that's what our bodies are designed to do anyway, right? We apply tension and stress to the body and it expands and it contracts and it expands and contracts. And in that expansion, in that tug and in that pull, the body grows, right? On a cellular level, it grows. And we stretch out the connective tissue, we stretch out the muscles, collagen fibers get laid down, and we have a different kind of tensile integrity to the body as a result, right? And if we think of this experience of the last year and a half as that tension, right, unexpected, as an opportunity to lay down new building blocks, to create new foundations, to reassess systems, to reapply ourselves so that there can be this growth rather than expectation of it going back, can be a portal into healthy change, right? And a necessary change. Because if we think about the connective tissue when it stretches out, it doesn't smack back together when it starts to have that tension release. It actually comes back together very, 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 very slowly. And that's what we want. We want to feel that this grand expanse and this grand change and this grand pressure that's been put upon us has reshaped us. And then as we gather ourselves back together and move toward whatever normal is going to be, that there are changes in that contraction, that there's changes that come back with that. So think about that for a moment as you bring the pinky edges of your hands against your chest. And really press the backs of your hands together as you do that, but also press your pinky fingers against your breastbone. So you apply this pressure there, and perhaps your eyes close or maybe your gaze simply drops. Apply pressure in a couple of directions, so against your breastbone hand to hand, and also meet that pressure with your breastbone against your pinky fingers. And feel what you feel in that. Allow yourself to meet that resistance without trying to move away from that resistance. Of course, never going into a place that feels uncomfortable or painful, but going into a space where you can meet it and know that that meeting is an opportunity for growth. Keep your left hand against your chest. Take your right hand and you can just re-angle it, almost like you're trying to take your index finger against your chest, and then find a grip of your hands there. So you've got your right elbow up and your left elbow still down, and then level that off so that you have your hands still in the middle, your elbows out to the side, and you can stick your thumbs up for a moment. So you got your left thumb up and your right thumb down. And then just let that rest against the pinky fingers. It becomes this Ganesh mudra. And have a different kind of pressure, apply a different kind of force. So now it's the outward pull rather than the inward press. And notice what you notice there. Notice if anything else wants to join in or gets recruited in this tension, and it's your jaw or your face or somewhere around your hips. And let that soften. See if you can breathe across your upper back. Give yourself another breath all the way in. And then simply release your hands for a moment down to your knees. And feel what you feel in that release. Maybe some extra warmth in your palms. Maybe new space at your shoulders. And then you can bring it together again, pinky edges of your hands to your sternum, pressing the backs of your hands together. Feel as though you can press your fingernails of the two hands together as well. So it's not just the back of your hand, but all the way through the digits. Give your thumbs a little twirl and wiggle there so you're not getting tight in your thumb joint. And then do a little teeter of your head so that you can feel the looseness of your neck that's connected to that space in your thumb. Pause. And then you can keep your right hand pressing against your chest. Change the angle of your left hand so that your left elbow starts to ride high. Find a grip of your hands, a monkey grip of your hands, and then level off your elbows. They go outward. And you can just check that so your thumbs go up, your right thumb is up, your left thumb is down. And then you can let that soften. And apply that same pull. And notice if there's any change in where your head sits on your neck in this moment. So you're going to feel as though your neck is still free and your head can just float. The heads of your shoulders drop away from your ears a little bit in this tugging apart. So you can even imagine the muscle fibers across the top ridge of your shoulder getting longer. Taking your breath down to your belly. Giving yourself one more moment. Time under tension. And then release. And just let your hands drop. And feel what you feel. Exhale everything away. And then bring your hands together in a normal prayer at the center of your chest. Take a breath that goes all the way down. Let it go. And then this time fill up for the sound of Om. Om. Let your hands drop away. And then you can start to make your way down onto your back. So when you lie back on your back, you can land and move in any way that you need to move. Maybe a little windshield wiper of your knees. You can open your arms to a T. Even just being still here for a moment, allowing yourself to settle into the ground and scan and notice what wants your attention, what needs your attention. Give yourself one more breath like that. And then take your left hand, so the pinky edge of your left hand, that reversed prayer kind of feeling, against your breastbone. So left pinky finger against your breastbone. Take your right palm and just set it underneath your skull. And see if you can let your right elbow feel heavy toward the ground. So release some of the action in your right hand and allow whatever space is available to you to show up. And then take your right ankle and figure forward onto your left thigh, so wherever it is. And you can let yourself move a little bit through your legs or open and close the space of your right hip. And give yourself another moment. Make sure you're still pressing against your breastbone with your left hand. And then let your right thigh relax to what feels like neutral. When you exhale, lift your skull off the mat, so you're just floating up, not pulling your chin into your chest, but still feeling as much length through the back side of your neck as possible. Also not jutting your chin dramatically away from your chest. You just feel your shoulders wanting to float, and then take your right elbow and flare it back toward the ground behind you. You feel your abdominals turning on there. Give yourself one more breath. And then slowly release that down. Release your foot, open your arms to a T. Notice what you notice. Allow yourself to land. And then take it on the other side so that your right hand, the pinky edge, knife edge of your hand, right up into your breastbone. And then your left palm behind your skull. Notice if there's any new squiggle to your spine as a result of that, and see if you can still feel like you're in the middle of your body. Take your left ankle and cross onto your right thigh, so there's some flexion in your left foot. You can just hang there or move a little bit through your legs, just exploring what's available. And then when you exhale with your legs still there, lift your head off the ground, lift your hand off the ground, right? And then notice when it wants to pull, whether that's your hand pulling your head or your body pulling in on itself. And keep some space by flaring open your left elbow. Press your breastbone against your pinky edge. Lifting up, breathing in. And out. And then slowly release it down. Release your leg, open your arm to a big T. Pausing. Okay, and then exploring it one more time so you can cross your right ankle onto your left thigh. Bring your left hand to your breastbone to pinky edge. When you go underneath your skull, so you can have your palm like that again, or you might lift your head and then think about the pinky edge of your right hand meeting the base of your neck. It's like your two hands are kind of mirror images. And then the work is to flare your right elbow back toward the floor. Lift your left foot off the mat so you have about a 90-degree angle in your left knee. And keep lifting through your chest. And draw your left elbow closer into your body, and then try to direct it toward your right heel. It won't actually get there, but direct it in that direction. And then direct your right elbow back toward the ground. Engaging through your front body. Things might shake or quiver a little bit. Good, and then slowly release. Drop your soul, open up your arms. Breathing all the way in and out. And then check just that on the other side. So you can take your left ankle across, your right hand to your breastbone, so the pinky edge there, the knife edge. Reach under your skull with your left hand, or maybe take the pinky edge of your left hand down to that left edge of your spine. You can absolutely stay right here. Or when you lift a little bit more, think about drawing in with your right leg. So you're bringing your left heel closer to your right elbow and your right elbow closer to your heel. Feel kind of cramped in there. Breathing one more moment. Good. And then release it. Open up your arms. Move your head a little bit side to side. Sway your knees a touch. And then you can either roll through your side to come up or rock a few times back and forth. Eventually crossing your legs and coming onto all fours. And when you get there initially, feel free just to design your own movement to move as you need to settle into your hands a little bit. Wag your tail and shift your head. And then settle into your all fours and curl under your toes. Walk your hands backwards so the heel of your hand is right in front of your knee or somewhere in that neighborhood. And take a moment just to spread open your upper back so you can breathe in and spread your shoulder blades apart. And then exhale, sink in, let your shoulder blades narrow, all without doing a lot of head movement. So you spread your shoulder blades open, and you exhale and you narrow them in. So don't think cat and cow quite so much, Heidi. Keep your head really neutral, and then spread open across your shoulder blades, and then narrow your shoulder blades. So just mini scapular push-ups. Do that one more time. Spread open and close in. Good. And then right where you are, press into your hands. So you roll your heels back toward the ground like you're moving into a squat. You have that space through your upper back. And then you bring your knees back down toward the heel of your hands, and you can land there. So you can use that same breath in as you go backwards. So there's the opening across your upper back. And then you can use the exhale to drop your knees and to feel your shoulder blades narrow. Do that again. So you press back and spread your upper back. Your chin can come a little closer to your chest now. And then you shift your knees behind your wrists and let your shoulder blades narrow. Your head should feel pretty neutral. Good. When you shift it back this time, see if you can land in a squat and pause there. Bring the pinky edge of your left hand into your breastbone so you feel your left shoulder right inside your left knee. Take your right hand onto your right kneecap and then press open so you can stretch your right elbow so long that your right knee opens up and you're on the pinky edge of your right foot there. Then close that in. Press it open. Find some room. Close it in. And then one more time. Press it open. You can roll to the edge of your foot. Find the length. Let your head drop over to the left side, so your left ear towards your left shoulder. And then pull that back into your squat. Let your hands drop forward, knees behind your wrists, so your shoulder blades narrow. And then press that back again toward a squat. You can breathe in and open up your back. And rock your knees behind your hands. And then press it back and spread. Do that one more time as you rock your knees forward. Narrow your shoulder blades. And then you move back toward a squat feeling. So feel free to have something under your heels or to stay up a little bit. Pinky edge of your right hand right into your breastbone. And you can always take your feet maybe a tiny bit wider apart, Heidi, if that helps. And then your left hand over on your left knee. So you can lean your right shoulder against your right knee and then press open and see what space is there. So your left elbow gets longer, and then you sink into the middle. Press your hand against your breastbone, press your thigh open, finding some room. And then fall into that space. Do it again as you get longer, so you feel the roominess in your left waist. And then drop in. And then one last time as you open it up, lean into it. And let your right ear get close to your right shoulder. Then come back into it, hands down. Drop your knees down. Rock it back, open up your back. Rock it down, feel your front open up. Rock it back and stay. Bring your left hand there, right at the center of your chest. Bring your right hand to your knee again, and then see if you can, without opening up to the point of being on the edge of your foot, find some space. So both feet can stay flat here as you lean over to the left side. Finding that spaciousness. Sink in. And then one more time, roll it open. Try to keep your right foot down. Your right elbow gets longer. Open up through your right side, all the way through the right side of your neck. And then sink in. Drop your hands, knees behind your wrists. Rock it back to your squat. Do that again. Knees down and heels down. And then one last time right here, your right hand is coming into your breastbone. Left hand up on your knee. So it might be the same, or as you open up some space, you're seeing if you can keep your left foot heavy to the ground. Your left elbow gets longer as you lean to the right, and then soften into what feels like the middle. And then press it one more time, so your left hand against your leg, opening up your ribs, left side of your neck. Good. Release that. Hands down. And then stretch your legs long and fold over your legs here. And have some bend in your knees. Feel free to hold on to your opposite elbows. As your head goes side to side. Give yourself one more exhale. And then hands to the floor. Walk yourself into a downward facing dog. So your hands walk forward. And as you get there, you can move your hips side to side. Let your head turn in that movement as well. And then settle in. And then when you breathe in, stretch out long into a plank pose and spread open across your back. So level off your pelvis, but dome open across your shoulder blades. And then press that back into downward facing dog. Stretch out long for plank, so you keep pressing your heels to the back, but spread your shoulder blades. Tip your gaze forward a little bit as you even out through your pelvis. And then press that back to downward facing. Good. Inhale your right leg up into the sky. Step your foot forward and take a lunge. Pause right there to bring your right hand onto your right knee. Take your left fingers just off the mat. Spread your upper back. Unbend through your front knee a little bit so you get a little bit of that rounded shape in your back. And then sink in and let your right knee roll open as you bend it. So you have this sort of lizardy, lungy twist, and you can look up and right. Flatten through your right foot. Lengthen some through your front leg so you can round into yourself. And then bend, shift, roll to the pinky edge of your right foot. Your right elbow gets long. You can look up and away. And then draw up and long. Open up through your back. Sink in once more as you bend. Long through your right elbow. More weight into your left hand. Looking to the right, maybe toward the sky. And then drop into your hand and step back for downward facing dog, evening out. Give yourself a moment right there. Simply move into plank pose focusing on opening your back. Gaze forward there. And then back to downward facing dog. Opening up some more through your chest. One more time. Stretch it out long for plank pose. Spreading open. Tip your gaze forward. And then back you go, downward dog. Lift your left leg up into the sky. Step forward and take a lunge. Move your right fingers just off your mat to the right. Left hand up on your left knee, and then focus on spreading your upper back with a breath in. So you can lengthen through your front leg, some bring your chin close to your chest, and then sink in, roll to the pinky edge of your left foot as you open up the length of your left elbow, moving away from your leg. And then hug in, lengthen. Feel the space behind your heart. Bend, open up through the front side of your chest. And then lengthen again, up through your hips. Draw some space across your upper back. Bend into it. Lengthen through your left elbow. And then right there, both hands can drop as you step back and even out into downward dog. Stretch out long for plank. Keep pressing your heels to the back. Open up behind your shoulder blades so you fill up into that space. And then bend your elbows and lower all the way down. Point your toes there and peel up a little cobra. And travel back for downward facing dog. So you can curl your toes, press the ground away, high through your hips. And then take a walk forward so your feet meet up with your hands. And folding into yourself. Your head hang. Breathing all the way in. And all the way out. And ease yourself up to stand. Landing in Tadasana. Let the whole sole of your foot receive the weight. Feel your fingers getting heavier. Your skull getting lighter. And give yourself one more breath there. And then bring your hands in front of your heart like a prayer for a second. And then switch it into that Ganesh mudra. So your left thumb will be going up and your right thumb will go down. And just pause right there so you can feel the tension of pulling your hands apart. Breathe into that tension. And then release your arms down by your sides. Bring up a prayer again in front of your heart. And have your hands face the other way now. So your right thumb will go up, left thumb down. Pull your hands apart energetically and breathe in. And then exhale your arms down. Good. Add to that. So your left thumb is facing up when you grab the Ganesh mudra, breathing all the way in. And then as you exhale, fold over. Let your arms swing past your hips. Loosely swing your fingers into the sky. Drop your fingers to the floor and step your right leg back for a long lunge. Open up your gaze. And then step back for downward facing dog. Stretch out long for plank pose. So your gaze goes forward. Fill up behind your heart between your shoulder blades. Hug in your elbows, and you can lower all the way or part of the way. You can have a cobra or an upward facing dog. Downward facing dog is where we meet up with each other. Lift your right leg high. Breathe in. Step forward and breathe out. Bring your left toes to the front of your mat. Come to your fingertips so your hands can touch your shins. And then fold into your legs. Circle your arms up high. Grab a prayer. And then pull the prayer against your heart. And release your arms. When your hands come up, your right thumb goes high. So you've got that Ganesh mudra gripping your hands. That's your breath in. Exhale and fold over yourself. No interlace just yet. Just let your arms sweep back in space. Drop your fingers and send your left toes back for a long lunge. Go high with both hips when you step back with your right foot, downward facing dog. Stretch out long for plank, filling up between your shoulder blades. Gaze forward and then bend your elbows. You can go all the way or part of the way down. Point your toes, little lift for cobra, maybe up dog. Downward facing dog as you go back over your toes. Lift your left leg into the sky. Inhale. Step forward with your breath out. Bring your right toes alongside your left toes, and you can tense your fingers or touch your shins. Gaze forward. Fold into yourself and bow. Circle your arms into the sky. High prayer. Pull a prayer to your heart and release your arms. Left hand in front for your Ganesh Mudra, breathing all the way in. Exhale and fold over. Maybe you interlace your fingers loosely behind you now. Drop your fingers to step your right toes back for a long lunge. Downward facing dog, go high. Stretch out long for plank pose, breathing in. Remember the space you've been creating. Hug in your elbows, lower all the way or part of the way. Cobra or upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. See the front of your mat, and you can walk there or step there or jump both feet. Tense your fingers or touch your shins to stretch your spine, and then exhale, fold into yourself. Circle your arms all the way out and up. Breathe in. Pull down your prayer and release your arms. Your right hand is in front for your Ganesh Mudra. Breathing in. Exhale, fold over. You can interlace your fingers or keep them free. Drop your hands and step your left foot back for a long lunge. Downward facing dog as you breathe out. Ripple out long for plank pose. Hug in your elbows. You can lower all the way or part of the way. Cobra or up dog. Downward facing. See where your hands are, and you can walk or step or jump your feet to the front. Lengthen through your spine to lift some space to your heart, and then fold deep to your legs. Circle all the way out and up, breathing in. Pull down your prayer and breathe out. Do it again. Ganesh Mudra with your left hand in front, breathing in. Exhale and fold over. You can tighten the interlace a little bit with your hands if you like. Stay here as you bend your knees for Utkatasana. Add some extra length by opening up through your armpits, not squeezing anywhere in your knees. Give yourself one more breath all the way in, and then fold over and touch the ground. So you can step through plank and lower, or you can jump back for chaturanga if that's part of your experience. Flip your toes to open your chest. Downward dog together. See where your hands are, and you can walk there or step there or jump. Stretch your spine off your legs, and then fold in close. Bend your knees on the way up for Utkatasana. Lay down all of your toes. You feel this ease to your feet, but lift through your arches. You create this integrity there. And then stand all the way up. Release your arms. One more time. Your right hand is in front for your Ganesh Mudra. When you breathe in, pull wide. Exhale and fold over. You can interlace, free. Maybe your hands even connect at the heel of your hand. Stay here as you come back up for Utkatasana. And then fold over yourself and touch down. You can step or walk or jump backward through the vinyasa, chaturanga, or you can go right into downward facing dog. Flip your toes and open your way. Meet back together. Downward dog, and then take a few breaths right here. All the way in. And all the way out. One more time. Fill yourself up. And then exhale it all out. Good. And then see where your hands are. Step, walker, jump to get there. Fold over deep. And then zigzag up. Utkatasana. And then stand all the way up and release your arms. And just notice what you notice and feel what you feel. Feel as though there's still something meeting your breastbone that you can lift up into without creating any extra tension anywhere else, right? One last breath like that. And then put the weight into your right foot. Figure 4 your left ankle in front of your right thigh, so your standing leg stays long. Take your left hand and touch the back of your skull. Take the pinky edge of your right hand into your breastbone. So just revisiting that idea. Allow yourself to sink in. Apply pressure with your right hand to your breastbone. Apply pressure with your skull against your hand. Let your two legs press against each other. Give yourself one more breath. Soften your standing leg as you take a step with your left toes for a horse stance. So you turn, let your toes turn out, your heels turn in, and you sink. Pausing with that, still pressing against your body. One last breath there. Good. Let your left hand come around in front. So you have this Ganesh mudra now in front of your body. Pull apart. Notice where your knees want to drop in and flare them out toward the pinky side of your foot. Sometimes unbending your knees just a little bit can be full of information. Give yourself one more moment just to tap your toes while you're there so you know that they're not gripping for dear life. And then break that free as you turn to the right for warrior 2. And feel the letting go in that, the release valve, and feel what might feel freer in the space. So you take the tension away, and then there's this wiggle room. It's a different wiggle room, so you're curious about how to move through it. Tip yourself backward for peaceful warrior. Cartwheel down to the ground, and you can move through a vinyasa. You can go right into downward facing dog. Feel free to get to down dog however you'd like. And then exhale everything out completely. See where your hands are, and step or walk or jump to get there. Content your fingers or touch your shins, and then fold in deep. Circle your arms up tall, high prayer. Pull down your prayer, and release your hands. Put the weight into your left foot. Figure 4 your right ankle in front. And then take your right palm to the base or to the back of your skull, right? And your left pinky fingers in that sort of flipped inside out prayer. Flare your right elbow back in space. Definitely give your right foot some flexion and lift your breastbone into your pinky, press your pinky into your breastbone. Meeting your body. Now one more breath right there. Soften your legs. Take a step with your right foot on your way into a horse stance. So step back, heels in, toes out. And you can move in that space a little bit. And notice at any point when your right hand starts pulling on your head like a crunch kind of movement, and just press your head against your hand and even out. See if you can sink and flare your knees wide. Good, and then let your right hand come around in front. Grip your two hands for the Ganesh mudra there. Pull apart. Breathing all the way in. Noticing when your shoulders want to hike closer to your ears. Sink a little bit deeper. See if you can just tap your toes, big toe, baby toe. And then release to your left for warrior 2. Notice the wiggle room, right? And be okay with the wiggle, right? So much of those moments when we're still, right, we're so still, so that when we get the space to wiggle, give yourself permission to wiggle, right? And see what's new, information or space in your body. Tip back for peaceful. Cartwheel down to the ground. You can step back through plank and lower chaturanga. Open up your way, cobra or up dog. And then when you get to down dog, see your hands, and you can walk or step or jump to get there. Folding over. Arms to the sky, high prayer. Pull down your prayer and release your arms. Put the weight now over into your right foot. Figure 4, your left ankle across. Take your left palm behind your skull. Right hand into your heart. Pinky edge again. Make sure you're flexing your left foot. Bend your right knee this time. And begin to hinge. But hinge without rounding. So consciously open up your breastbone by pressing it forward into your hands. Flexing your left foot so you don't get into rounding into yourself. Breathing all the way in. And all the way out. One more breath. And then as you're shifting and stepping to your horse, your left hand can grab your right hand right into the Ganesh Mudra, sinking in. And then you lift the Ganesh Mudra at about eye height. Feel the difference in that. Lift it to about forehead height. Feel the difference in that. Float it right above your skull. So now the angles change, right? So you've got one palm that's facing up and one palm that's facing down. And you can move a little bit side to side so there's a deeper bend in your right knee and then a deeper bend in your left knee. We'll do that one more time. Right knee and left knee. Tug both arms toward what is the front of your mat so that you've got your arms moving to the right some. So your left arm gets closer to your ear. Pause there. Stretch out your right leg, rock onto your right heel, look over to the right side. And then right from there, as you shift it, turn that in to peaceful warrior, bending through your right leg. Turn that into triangle pose as your right leg lengthens, dip in with your right hip. Let your right fingers fall to the floor, your shin, a block. Opening up your left arm. And still there's that room to wiggle in the freedom, right? Hopefully. It doesn't become newly rigid when the tension is released. Give yourself the breath all the way into your back foot. Good, and then bend through your right knee, visit warrior 2 on the way up. Cartwheel your hands down. Step through a vinyasa or go direct into downward facing dog. Opening up. And then going high with your hips. See your hands and step or walk or jump there. Fold in deep. Circle your arms up, Urdhva Hastasana. Pull down your prayer and release your arms. The weight goes into your left foot, so you can cross your right ankle in front. Take your right palm to the base of your skull. Take your left hand right into your heart space there. And then start to bend your standing leg, crease at your hips, bend, so flex at your right ankle there, hinging without rounding. So have a sense that you can press your head back into your hand. Not to a point of creating stress, but useful tension. See if you can hinge one notch deeper into yourself. And then you're already grabbing your Ganesh Mudra as you're stepping back. Sinking in. Rocking into yourself. Good. And then you lift it up a little bit higher. And a notch higher still. Float it above your head. And then a little shift side to side. So some bend to your left knee. Some bend to your right knee. A little bend to the left. And a bend to the right. And then sink into the middle and drag both arms toward what is the left side. So toward the front of your mat. So you feel your right arm getting closer to your ear. You can look to your left. Start to stretch your left leg, bend deeper into your right knee, and you can rock onto your left heel there. Good. Press and even out your legs. Free your hands. Peaceful warrior. Stretch out your left leg. Reach forward beyond your left toes on your way into triangle pose. Dropping your hand. Opening up. Finding length on both sides. So see if there can be a little less weight with your left hand, Heidi. And then use that to wrap your left shoulder away from your ear and toward your back. Giving yourself one more moment to expand into new space. Bend into your left knee to visit Warrior 2 as you exhale up. Cartwheel down. Move through a vinyasa, go direct to your downward facing dog if that's better. Recreate that experience in any way that suits you and serves you best. Meeting when your hips are high. And then see where your hands are and step, walk, or jump to get there. Fold deep. Circle up tall, Urdhva Hastasana. Pull down your prayer and release your arms. Put the weight one more time into your right foot. Bring your left ankle over, sort of figure 4. Bend into your standing leg. And then take your right arm, sort of like you're going to do a bicep curl with your right arm. Hook your right elbow crease underneath your left ankle there, right? So you hook into that space. Pause. Left hand up on the back of your skull. Happily stay here and flare your left elbow away from the floor, or flex your left foot and then come on up to stand, bringing your left ankle with you. So it feels almost like you're putting your leg onto a counter surface. Right? And keep moving your left elbow away from the ground so that you know that you're not pulling yourself closed. Give yourself one more breath. Soften through your standing leg. Let your shin come back down. Release your elbow from underneath. And then start to move back into your horse stance here. Ganesh hands up above your head. Sinking into that. Right? So you can allow yourself to go back and shift your left arm closer to your head again. Let your right elbow drop down close to your ribs. So you're kind of hiding your left elbow behind your head. Drop your right elbow down. So everything's closed into the body. Stretch both legs long. Turn all of your toes to the right so you feel like you're almost moving into a triangle pose. And then hinge so your right elbow is coming toward your right hip crease there. Pausing in that space, finding length, breastbone, right? Breathing all the way in and out. You can look down, start to drop your right hand, bend your right knee, turn it into side angle. So your left arm can reach alongside your head. Keep your right fingers kind of where they are, Heidi, and now press your right knee toward your right arm. Reaching out of yourself. Go one last moment. And then exhale your way up into Warrior 2. Feel the wiggle room. Tip back for Peaceful Warrior. Cartwheel your hands down. Move through a plank and a so on and a so forth.
Or you can go right to downward facing dog, meeting up when your hips are high. And see where your hands are. And step or walk or jump to get there. Open your spine and then fold it to your legs. All the way up to stand. Urdhva Hastasana. Pull down your prayer. Release your arms. Shift the weight into your left foot. One last time to figure 4, your right ankle across. Bend your standing leg. And then your left elbow crease is going to hook to the outer edge of your right ankle there. Taking hold. Your right hand can go behind your skull. Happily stay right here. Or you can press the ground and slowly come up. Notice your right elbow and then flare it away from your right knee. Breathing in. And out. One more breath right here. And then soften. Deliver your right shin back down. Sink down. Find the balance. And then as you're stepping out, you can find that Ganesh Mudra. Horse stance. Lift the Ganesh right over the top of your skull. And then it's your right bicep that gets closer to your right ear. And then your left elbow starts to drop down next to your left ribs. So you end up hiding your right forearm behind your skull some, sinking in. Pause there. And then both legs get long. Turn your toes to the left. So you have this sort of pre-triangle stance. And then hinge so that your left elbow gets close to your left hip bone. So you don't end up putting your left elbow onto your left thigh someplace. Breathing open across your chest. This triangle variation. And then you can look down, start to drop your left hand, bend your left knee, and let it become side angle. And that same little steering with your left knee, Heidi. Reaching long. Get a little bit more spacious by gazing toward your right forearm or elbow crease. And then use your exhale to come on up for warrior 2. Tip back for peaceful. Cartwheel down. Move through a vinyasa, go right into downward facing dog. Do as you like, do as you need. And land, breathing all the way in. And all the way out. Good, one more breath there. Now lift your right leg up high, breathe in. Step forward and take a lunge. Let your left fingers move off the mat to the left. Put your right hand onto your right knee. Lean the weight over into your left hand. Look past your left shoulder so you see your left baby toe. So you get some side bending through your waist. And then you can make your right elbow long, but your right foot stays flat. So you're not opening your hip or opening your knee. You're just changing the angle of your spine. So it's a real side bend. Come back around. Frame your front foot. Shorten your stance an inch or 2. Ground your left heel. Warrior 1 as you come up. So using that slightly shorter stance to help steer your right hip into its socket. To help firm up through your back leg. And then grow length through both sides of your waist. Maybe a little sense of back bend that works for you. And then both hands to the floor. Step your way through a vinyasa. Happily go right into downward facing dog. Meet up once your hips are high. Inhale your left leg up high. Step forward, take a lunge. Move your right fingers off the mat to the right. And then you can stack your left hand onto your left knee. Begin to look back over your right shoulder. So remember, you can put more weight into your right hand, feel your shoulder right over your wrist, and then add length to your left elbow so you can crane your gaze back over the right and feel how you're shortening your right waist and lengthening your left. Really staying vertical with your right heel so you keep your right hip feeling pretty neutral. You bring it back around on your way to Warrior One so you can shorten a little bit. Ground and rise. Right, and feel how as your left waist kind of contracts back to its normal length, that your right waist can do the same. So there's this evening out, sort of jostling in space. So as one tension is released, new space can show up. Having some more heart, but feeling long in your low back. Good. And then release your hands. Step through a vinyasa. And eventually find your way back into downward facing. Inhale your right leg up. Step forward, take a lunge. Move your left hand off the mat, but backward a couple of inches this time. So you're just moving into a deeper side bend. Move your right hand to your inner right knee. Crane your gaze over. Really feel your left shoulder right over your wrist there as you get more of a side bend, lengthening all the way into the space on the outside of your neck. So the right side of your neck gets longer as well. Good. And then bring that back around. Frame your front foot. Shorten your stance a little bit. Both legs get long. Tense your fingers, find lots of space. So you open up through your chest, get longer again through the left side of your waist. Angle your breastbone over the top of your right leg, and then fold toward your right leg for Parsvottanasana. Breathing all the way in. Still feeling active through your back leg. You know? So extra space showing up in your left calf. Extra fire perhaps on the front side of your left shin. Good, and then tense your fingers. Move your left hand closer to your right foot and know that most of what you've set up in your legs is not going to change. You can take your right hand to your hip, find length through the side body on the right, and then open up your right arm to the sky, revolving your triangle. Meet the ground with energy. Meet the ground with some effort with your left hand and use that to turn. So you're anchoring more. One more breath. And then release. Step through a vinyasa or go right back into your down dog. Meeting up once you're there. Inhale your left leg up high. Lunge your foot forward. Take your right hand off the mat, move it back a couple of inches. Left hand inside your left knee. So as you side bend to the right and look back over your shoulder, see if you can feel like you got a little bit more space than you did the first time. Longer through your left elbow, but still heavy through your left sole. That's that. Bring it back around on your way into Parsvottanasana so you can shorten your stance a little bit. Open up your chest. Move your breastbone and your ribs toward your left thigh. And then fold in the direction of your left leg. Feel how you can make contact with your ribs to your thigh. Maybe you're feeling a little bit of your upper chest. And maybe even your nose toward your knee. Breathing through both soles. Giving yourself a moment to pour everything out. And then a little tent of your fingers. Move your right hand close to your left foot. Could be inside, could be outside, definitely could be on something. Your left hand can either go to your hip and stay as you rotate, or you can pass by your hip as you're opening up the twist. And then take your left arm high. Revolving. Remembering that your arm and your head are the least important parts of the twist. The foundation that you set up in your legs is far more important. Work in that space. One last breath. Good, and then bring it on down. Lunge your way out through a vinyasa. Lunge your way into downward facing dog. Good, and one more time. Lift your right leg up high. Step forward. When your left hand goes left, even move it further back this time. Right hand to your inner right knee. And one last side bend over to the left. So really find the length in your right elbow, the stability in your right knee. Peeking back over your left shoulder. See your left heel. And then unravel that right into seated spinal twist. So you can tuck your left leg in behind you and have a seat. Twisting to the right. Don't be in a rush to turn your head. So really focus on turning your sternum, and then let your head kind of catch up with that. Wrapping around yourself. Even here, explore the wiggle room. So one last breath. Good. And then take a counter turn over to the left. And then when you start to face front, sweep your right leg around behind you. Move to all fours. Drop down to your elbows and your forearms. Pray your hands together so your pinky fingers on the ground and all the other fingers really stack right on top of each other. You can cross your thumbs over each other. Pressing down with your forearms so you have some space across your upper back. Curl your toes. Walk your knees forward toward your elbows. And then when you feel like you're in as close as you can comfortably get, let your hips press back in the direction of your heels. Press your prayer into the mat and start to lengthen through your legs. Yeah. This dolphin feeling. Take a peek towards your thumbs and use that to move your shoulders away from your ears. Maybe you take one more step in and tip a leg. Doesn't matter which one, but just remember which leg is tipping into the sky. Breathing all the way in. And out. And then you can lower your toes, drop your knees, turn it into all fours, and into downward facing dog. Lift your left leg up high. Step forward, take a lunge. Could move your right hand off the mat, move it way back. Left hand to the inside of your left knee, side bend over to the right. So you lengthen through your left elbow. Shorten through your right waist. Find room below your left ear, all the way down to your shoulder. Good. Bring that around. Seated spinal twist, so your right leg tucks in behind you. Sitting up tall. Twisting left. So find a place where your shoulders rotate. Your breastbone can lift. And then your head might follow along. Always making room to breathe. All right, it's not going to be as roomy at your belly, so breathe in where you can. Across your kidneys, across your upper back, out into your left waist. Give it a breath more. And then counter twist over to the right. Good. When you undo that, your left leg can swing around to the back. Start with all fours. Drop down to your elbows. Pray your hands together. You can cross your thumbs so that they're not poking up. Curl your toes so you can walk in. Maybe you walk in even closer this time, almost to the point where your elbows or where your knees are right behind your elbows. And then you can press your hips back to press your arms down. Add length to your legs. And see where your toes are. Happily stay, or you can look toward your hands. And whatever leg was down this time, that leg is up. Pressing the ground away. Still breathing. Got one last breath. Good, and then bring it down. Walk your knees backward a little bit. Keep your hands in this prayer. And then once your knees are back some, you can begin to bend your elbows so your prayer comes off the ground. Maybe your elbows scooch forward just a smidge there as you begin to bring your forehead down to the floor right between your elbows, finding a feeling of puppy. So if you angle your prayer up to the ceiling, and then keep closing the angle at your elbow, you might feel more space opening in your armpits. And there's some heaviness to your belly, but try not to squeeze your back when you do it. So you're targeting some space into your triceps and your lats, so back of your arm and right below your armpit. Breathing all the way in and out. It depends on your shoulder to head ratio sometimes, but you might be able to move your prayer back behind the nape of your neck so that everything gets closer there, different opening in your armpits. And give yourself one more breath. And then release the bend of your elbows. Move toward lying flat on your belly, but then flip yourself onto your back. And then when you get to your back, have your knees bent, the soles of your feet flat. And you can certainly graze the back of your heels if that gives you good information. And then your hands can come to the mat next to your head. So as if you were going into a wheel. Have your palms flat and your fingers can tuck toward your shoulders. And just feel what you feel here when you stop, right? When you don't actually go to the wheel. See if you can hug your elbows close into your line of sight. You're going to keep your head and shoulders on the ground, but lift your hips. Keep finding space on the back side of your neck. Notice when your knees want to flare apart from each other. You can have a little action in the muscles of your bum to open up the front side of your hip. And then you might decide that you want to press your hands into the ground and come all the way into your wheel from there, or you can stay. Good, and then chin to your chest. And ease on down. And give yourself a couple breaths. Good. And then it might be exactly the same. So you can set your hand next to your head and let your fingers kind of point under your shoulders. You can certainly have one more wheel just like that. You can also let your hand start to narrow. So it usually means picking up your head and walking your thumbs pretty much together behind your head. So once that's there, you're not going to be able to put your head flat to the ground anymore. So you can be in that space. And then your hips can lift just like they did before, but instead of going into a wheel, you move toward the top of your skull and walk your feet backwards. So you're on the crown of your head now. You can interlace your fingers. Press down into your forearms so there's less weight to your head. Dvipada Viparita Dandasana. Good. You can exit the way you entered, or you can palm down one hand at a time and then press up for a wheel before you bring your chin to your chest to ease on down. Roll your wrists around, move your knees side to side. A few more waves of your knees. Good. And then you can either grab your knee creases and rock and roll a couple times, or you can roll to your side to come up. Eventually moving through crossed legs to all fours. And then your right shin is going to come forward for pigeon. Feel free to pad as you need, prop as you like. Releasing your left leg out long behind you. And then you can come down to your elbows and forearms. And you can stay this way, or if there's a twist here, you can always thread your left arm underneath your right arm, sort of threading the needle twist. That might mean that your hands pancake on each other, or your right arm can go around your back. Stay present with it without turning on any extra effort. If there's a twist, you can start to unravel. Make your way slowly up, dropping more weight into your right hip. So you can sweep your left leg around in front. And then figure for your right ankle on top of your left leg. If you lean a little bit left, you can scoot your right sitting bone backward in space. Sit yourself tall, happily stay, or start to fold a little bit toward your extended leg. So if you feel like the edge of your big toe is kind of the target for your third eye to rest. You want to come down there. And give yourself one more breath. And then lift your head up a little bit, walk your hands back in, and then your left elbow is going to thread through that eye of the needle so that you can hook your left elbow underneath your ankle there and come on up to sit. And you can use your right hand to help open your knee or simply support it. And if you take your right fingers down behind you some, you can open your right hip some to the right. So it gives you different access to your hip there. Great place to stay. Right? Or you can take your right hand up to the base of your skull now. And then thinking about the pinky edge of your right hand finding the base of your neck. And then you can start to hide your arm behind your head, and your two hands will monkey grip together. If you let your right ear get closer to your right arm, and then sit up tall. If you put more weight to your left hip, you can close your right hip back around to the front, and then sit even taller. Good. And then slowly release it. Cross your legs onto all fours so your left shin can come forward for pigeon. Finding a depth that makes sense for you. And come down to your elbows. Happily stay right here in the middle. Or if there's a twist, you can make room for your right arm to thread under. And drop your right temple. You can pancake your left hand to your right, or let your left arm go around your back. Notice where there's tension that you don't need, tension that doesn't serve, right? Let that drop away so you can benefit from the building of integrity, that tension, the space creating tension. And then slowly undo any twist that's there. Coming out of your pigeon, more weight to your left hip so you can bring your right leg around. Stack your left ankle on top of your right thigh. You can wiggle around and move your left sitting bone back in space. Happily stay sitting, or you can start to fold toward your leg. It's always interesting to pay attention to what the two sides feel like and where they feel the same and how they feel different. Give yourself one more exhale. Keep your legs as you start to sit up, and then you can hook your right elbow crease into that space underneath your left leg. And come on up to sit. And your left fingers can tent back behind you so you can open your hips some. Happily stay here. Or you can start to take your left hand behind your skull and your left pinky finger down by your neck. Another good place to stop. Or you can move from there so your hands can find the grip. And your left ear and left arm get close to each other. Starting to find some sense of sitting up. And then you might close your left hip back around. Let your head press your arm rather than the other way around. Good. And then release. And let both legs come out long in front so you can fold over your legs. Pouring everything out. Breathe out of your mouth. And then slowly sit yourself up. And then you can start to roll down to your back or find a seat that works for you. Choosing where you'd like to land for these final minutes. How you'd like to be in these final minutes. But wherever it is that you end up, use the opportunity of stillness to scan, to notice all that you feel. Notice the effect of applying tension when you decide it's right to the body. And what kind of growth comes from that? What kind of space comes from that? Feel it like a residue on your skin. Subtle like dew or mist. Or you're aware that something has changed, that something is present. The experience of walking through a mist is very different than the experience of walking through a deluge. And as the body retracts, contracts back into itself, as it settles, notice where it wants to settle into old forms, old patterns, old habits. And without doing anything physically, just notice and let that be the intervention that makes all the difference.
You can start finding a deeper, fuller breath here. Move your fingers and your feet and wake up at the ends of your body. Give your head a turn left and right. Begin to stretch your arms up overhead and get long from end to end. And then start to figure out your way to your side, or you can rock up to sit. Finding your way to a seat. Join your hands together at your heart. Briefly bring your prayer up to your third eye. Just before your lips. Back down into your heart. May the thoughts and the words and the actions that make up our lives help bring about the change that we seek, the light that we seek, the peace that we seek. Bowing and honoring the divine in each other. Peace be with you and blessings upon you. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. It's Sunday while this is being recorded, so it's a glorious sunny Sunday. And to the mothers who are out there, it's also Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to moms all around. And see you soon.
Thanks.